Hi Libra. Happy Virgo season. I am doing a different kind of spread this month. I started with these when I started doing readings one-on-one. It's called the compass reading, where one section is your body, one section is your mind, one section is your heart, spirit, and then the center focus is the compass, which you can always come back to. And it's basically about the reason why I wanted this came to me to do is because it's Virgo season, and well, from the beginning, it's best to know what's going on with your body. And if you can listen to your body and it can come out in the cards, why not do it? These readings I feel are very accurate, even if on a general level. For the most part, most Libras though out there, I hope that you are in a similar place as me, where you're feeling already the romanticism of this month for you. Again, I said this to Virgos because there's like a similar vibe going on, but not the same. But it's like a nice balance between you both, where you're feeling romantic in all of the ways and you want to be that way in your life. And if there's more of you who want to invite that in your life, that's possible this month, or be open to it for it to come to you. That doesn't necessarily always have to mean on a love level. And here you are, on a love level. This means in many different ways, because there's just this very new beginning. There's about what's going on with you. And like I said to Virgo in the extended reading, by the end of their month, it's going to feel like they have a whole new skin, a whole new layer. Well, you have this layer now. And you're realizing that there's nothing else that you would rather have, and that you don't want to live without this authenticity and live without this space. And you now know more and more about what you need for this to continue to exist. And your body says, keep it up. You may have found that for some of you in the beginning of this month, your body was holding on possibly to water, or even there's some tension in the body. So to get back into balance, sometimes I just lay on the floor and scan my body in many different ways. And that's what I did. And you'll realize that the muscles that you're building, or the way that you're feeling maybe, perhaps, is solely to do with the fact that you've been so focused on yourself, which has been so beneficial for everyone else around you, but you've been so focused on maintaining this, especially last month. And for some of you, you had an obstacle where you couldn't overextend yourself, because a lot of people came into Virgo season not feeling well. If you're one of them, again, find that balance. Ooh, hold on one second. Sorry about that. I had to fix some things. Okay, so and the card that fell was the Ten of Wands, which is in the mind section. You've done all that you can do to be prepared for this new phase. I don't want to call it a chapter, because it doesn't feel like a chapter. It feels like more a new book, but this new phase in your life. And it's continuing to roll out. And what is important for you to stay clear about is in your body, because you're going to channel a lot this month. This month, yes, used to rely solely on Virgos, but this month, this Virgo season feels different. You're already out here. You already feel like you're out here. The heart section. There's a conscious decision on your part at this point to continuously fuel the energy that you've been feeling. There's been a lot of electricity for some of you, depending on your placements, but there's been a lot of decision after decision after decision, and you're in a different place where you're, taking on more responsibility, which is making more decisions and making you feel so capable. And there's this overwhelming sense of confidence in your heart. So anything that you feel passionate towards is going to be multiplied this month. So anything that you feel passionate towards and that you're doing, it's going to multiply in abundance, especially come your season. And bottom of the deck right now, most of you, it's going to release a lot of money fears, which will also simultaneously hit you directly in the heart, because, you know, it wouldn't be us if there wasn't some pain, right? Okay. So overall, you're fueled. You're receiving a lot of downloads, so there might be a lot of channeling or whatever's moving through you. You might feel very clear this month. And Virgo season gives us that extra oomph, right? What's important for you right now is to only give what you know is needed when it comes instinctively. If there's overthinking involved, or if there is, if you're stuck somewhere, stuck in your head, lingering in that for too long without utilizing it or finding an actual sense to being in that place or continuously feeling that way is if you're moving through some type of grief. Other than that, for those of you, it's just time to give yourself freedom this month. There's this whole new path rolling out before you. It's like coming across a sunset spot or a sunrise spot. It's just my favorite thing. And again, Libra also has the sign of the horizon. So it's like rolling up on that spot and you're just like, holy shit, this couldn't be more perfect if I had imagined it, right? And we talked about, like, even if you are manifesting something specifically, always writing under it, and better than I can even imagine, right? Because there's sometimes a limitation to what we can imagine depending on what limiting beliefs you can have, or how you grew up, or how you've been programmed. So it's really important this month that anytime those cobwebs come up, it's, if you're using it for art or creating something, and for most of you, I know you're starting something new, and it's important to, that's where the mind is focused on, is that creation. Like, you know, you've done everything you needed to do to get you to this point to do what you really need to do, right? Like, there's this whole process going on. And the bottom, which is spirit section, is the death card. And we've talked about rebirth for a long time, but now spirit is like, yeah, you're finally here. So everything's like it's all coming up and pulling down. It's all connecting, feeling clear. And it's important to you to continuously do whatever practices, whatever you need to do, and to continuously feel clear and to have fun at the same time. So it's knowing yourself a lot differently, but also seeing yourself as a new person as you continually roll out this new phase, in the sense that you know what has hurt you, and now that you know what has hurt you, you can make decisions to not go down that road or that road, but to keep rolling out on this road. And there we have the center, which is the King of Cups. So feeling extremely capable in not only the masculine parts of you that need to be held in terms of your emotions, but you feel emotionally available. If some of you who are open, are single, are open to love, you now have this availability to you that you may not have had in the past. Something has shifted and you didn't know. It's like this thing you've been working on, this one specific thing that you possibly have been working on for a while, and you're like, I still feel like it's not clicking. It clicks this month. If you allow Virgo season to give you its magic, it's letting that click, because it doesn't hurt as bad. And even if it does, everyone's going through and getting their dose this month, but also allowing, there's just that like ease and rest that you feel when you're with a Virgo. It's like, it's all good. You know, like, I know they can handle anything. And more than ever, you feel that way. So when you go through the motions of a very full experience, as in this whole rest of the year will be very, very full. And what I mean by that is rich and just all encompassing. There also could be someone waiting for you at the end of this month. There might be like someone literally offering you a cup by the end of this month. You might, for those of you who are single, and for those of you who are with someone, you could be with a Libra or a Scorpio, but for those of you who might be partnered, it seems as though your relationship takes a whole new turn, is on a whole new level, and you may feel more connected to your partner more than ever this month because you feel so connected to yourself. You have been, but this month it just sinks right in. And you're already glowing, but then when you realize you're glowing even more, it's like, oh, it's not even my season yet. Okay. Because there's a few signs that are going to be like extremely powerful this month, and just by being themselves, and you're one of them. Because there's Mercury going into your sign on the 30th, Mars going into your sign on the 14th, and then that's right before we hit Libra season on the 22nd. So leading up to this, it's like a story is going to play out. And as much as you know, it's still nice to not know, because it's going to be better than you expect. That's what this month's mantra is better than you expect. Because when you have expectations, sometimes they become something that you can't live without. And unfortunately, in this time, that's really not up to you. You must be someone who is both attached and unattached to everything, therefore the balance exists. If it didn't exist, well, who knows? And for those of you who are feeling good and feeling joy and continuously feeling that no matter what's being experienced, that's important. Don't hide that. Show it more. I dare you, Libra, to show it more. Okay? Bottom of the deck, I want to show you these 3 cards because they're very relevant. More in these on the extended readings. I will go through each section and we'll get clarifications. The last one was amazing, and I feel like this might be the spread I continue to use. So my Patreon link is where the extended links are. Our reading is, and it's $10. Also, there's a link to for donations below, as well as the payments. If you book a one-on-one reading, there is the link to pay as well. If you have any questions, I'll also link my email is on my website, so you can also go there, and it's also on my Instagram, which will also be below. I look forward to working with you. And this is the bottom of the deck, which is when this new phase rolls out, it gives you that glow already, but that's also you coming into this sense of abundance that you forgot about. And because of that, you forgot about it, which is perfect for you, because then you're then able to not psych yourself out when this is your Virgo moment of just like it falling apart. Whatever you're holding on to finally falls apart, which is mutable earth. So you have that moment, and it needs to go. And you realize there's that last little, not last because it's never ending, but this peace. And it all comes together. In your season, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, so we're not going to actually talk about it yet. So, the season, everyone gets a break in certain ways. And yeah. Your preparation is just to continue to be yourself and to be open to the experiences that roll out in this new phase. Okay, Libra? We'll take a look at the cards, and then everything that I mentioned is below. I love you. and I'll see you soon. Hi, Libra. So the second part of the reading is where I show you the compass. It's interesting how much 5 cards can tell when you have sections and names. So the body section, the mind, the heart, spirit, whatever you want to call that for yourself, and the compass in the center. So we're going to start with the compass because that's what's drawing my attention the most. Essentially, and then these 2 cards are important. So essentially, it's about being stable with your emotions and with your energy. That this month you're going to do a lot and get a lot done. But the focus is on your energy. So it's really important that because you have so much of it for most of you. It's like this what did I call it? It's like pre-gaming your own season because so much is changing, and it's like you're doing work, having and enjoying it, and it's a lot of work, but there's just something so naturally you coming out of this phase that you've been in, and it's this all-encompassing because spirit is now like, okay, it's happening. Like you're finally peeled away at certain layers where now you're coming out of this so much like yourself. And what's important about justice and the King of Cups, and justice being in the body, is that you are always constantly learning how to sway those scales or how to balance those scales. And this month you get the chance to see what sometimes holds you back, especially in terms of spirit, and especially in terms of whatever your practice is or whatever it is that you believe in. Because essentially whatever it is that you are, no matter what your practice or your beliefs are, there is a spirituality to it, even if it's not believing in God. Because you have to, there's something spiritual even when you don't want to believe in something, right? You're still believing in something. So for you might, and for some of you, there might be a Libra in your life, and we'll get more about that in the extended reading. But this, I do feel like it's really embodying yourself as we move in through Virgo season, because there's so many placements in Libra that you may feel the need to take certain courses of action this month, and it's highly recommended, especially when Mercury and Mars both move into Libra too throughout the course of the month. I don't have my notes with me. The King of Cups is about that stability within yourself, but it's also, this could be someone, I'm just feeling something stubborn. So this could be you being stubborn about something as well, because he's looking away from justice, but looking, in the Knight of Wands is facing each other. So this also could be someone, again, the Knight of Wands is the heart section, so this could be someone you are wanting to rush towards even, or feel like drawn towards, and they're also looking at you, but there's still something not connecting just yet. And the Knight of Wands is also about leading with your heart and knowing that if you do want to give this cup away by the end of the month, or if a cup is being given to you by the end of the month, either or, it's about allowing it to only come from your heart. Because you're in this place where you are at homeostasis, and you can do that. There's a lot of work to be done. Your mind has done and processed a lot. And now there's freedom to that in the heart. Because now whatever's driving you, whatever passion you have, whatever is your purpose, whatever you're connecting with at this
time, you have so much more room. And it's important to allow your mind to rest after all the contemplation of last month and everything that you've been connecting. Because here, it's funny because I've never truly noticed this horizon until this moment. And we talked about that before, so maybe I'll call this reading the horizon. It feels like it's coming up to me in this moment. So it's rising after death. You know, it's like, it's funny because we call grievance, or when someone dies, we call it mourning. And it's like, have you ever woken up the morning after something tragic has happened in the world, or something personal or close to you has died, or something has really ended, and waking up, it's almost like having a hangover, but it's like something's changed. You know, those moments where you feel the change that has happened, even if it's not close to you. You just feel the death. You feel the graveyard, or wherever you just feel that. You feel so much more connected to that part of yourself that knows death really well. And that's something that people don't always know about you. But you're that bridge from the summer to the winter. So that death process is just normal for you. But when you finally process that for yourself and see it not just as being the bridge, but being that bridge for yourself, it's a recognition of all that you may have been holding on to. But it's important that you recognize whatever this is, as you know, because for some reason when all these good things happen, let me put it over here, and this new wave of light shows up, there's a release. And you must allow yourself that release. Okay. These are the cards. And we'll look more in the extended reading when I go through the cards, and that will be on Patreon. We go through each section even more. And there also, some of you, there could be a Scorpio moving towards you as well. It's very possible. Or by the time Venus moves into Scorpio, this will be different and feel different. Hold on. So by the 10th, Venus moves into Scorpio. Mercury moves into Libra by the 30th. So right after this comes out, things will be shifting, and you'll feel it, you'll understand it, and it'll be like initiation for you to move towards whatever you need to move towards. By the middle of the month, there will be this connection will be made. And it's all about you holding your own and you moving forward. Even if no one else wants to move forward, you're doing it. And you're starting that. Whoever is involved in the situation as well. But this feels very intimate, this portion, for the most part. And what comes after this revelation and this revealing, and what's coming from this rebirth is something that is better than you expect. And it's just time to kind of move with the knowing that things are being cleared up as needed, right? So if you look at the top and then the bottom, it's the work that you've done internally that is now giving you this extra energy, and this month can give you more to do more, and you will, and it will start to come together. It may not look completely or feel completely ready, whatever it is that you're working on or working towards, but you're getting there. And this month, by the end of the month, it will become very clear to you. And also for some of you, you're releasing a lot of old habits, so be patient with this process. So it's possible that you processed last month and then came into this month and had an emotional release right away. And that could be a number of emotions. I cry when I'm happy, so when I feel immense joy. And yeah, when Mars moves into your sign, a lot more will move and you'll have a lot more connection with certain things on the 14th. It will make, some things will make a lot more sense, and some of you will be having conversations with people who it might be unexpected. All right, Libra, we'll get into the extended. All information to work with me is below, and I will see you next month.